You don't know, you damn well should know. My name is Rag Reynolds and welcome back to Medium Rare. Today we're talking about Deji versus KSI, and today we're specifically talking about the two recent videos that Deji put out about his brother. So, Deji, the brother of KSI, a guy with 10 million subscribers. He's put out these two videos, one after the other. One's 45 minutes long, the other one's just over 10 minutes. And in this first 45-minute video titled Bye, Deji is talking about his relationship with his brother, and he claims that he's trying to stand up for himself because essentially his brother has been bullying him over the years, and he's trying to justify why he is now talking about it. He's trying to show examples of his brother treating him like crap. So let's take a look at what he had to say.
So with this video, I am not looking for any sympathy. I am simply just trying to clear my name.
I must say that's quite an interesting way to start off your video, saying you're not looking for sympathy and you're just trying to stand up for yourself. I'm very interested to see if this is your continuing narrative as you go through your video.
So obviously it all started off with just an innocent slap, a few Q&As like slap Deji.
Oh god, what? Ow!
I must say that slap didn't look very bad.
Slowly, progressively, it started to get more violent.
That water bottle didn't look like it hurt at all. It looked like you were kind of playing that up for the camera.
I got tired of this being a laughing post.
So in this video, Deji is making the point, he's trying to make this argument that throughout him and his brother's relationship, especially on YouTube, Deji has always taken the role as sort of the laughing stock. He's always been the joke of the two. KSI uses Deji as a prop, essentially. He likes to beat him up in videos, or he likes to make him the end of every single joke. He likes to make fun of him. And KSI thinks that is amusing. He thinks it's entertaining. He enjoys doing it. And what Deji is saying in his video is that he is fed up of that. He's had enough. And he sees all of this behavior as bullying.
I would just walk out because it wasn't funny. I didn't like it.
Ow! Ah! What, you've given up?
No, I'm leaving.
You're leaving, yeah?
Yeah, I'm gonna count to 5.
No, it'd be more fun if we're both together.
I'm always in this position. Look at that camera.
No, but
I'm leaving.
No, I wouldn't.
So in those clips from videos long ago, you can see that Deji has numerous times gotten up and actually left the video because he is fed up at how he's being treated in those videos. The question I would then have to ask though is this genuine? Does KSI think he's joking along? Does he think that it's a serious situation? I don't know what KSI's thinking here. I don't know what Deji was thinking at the time either. Especially when you consider the fact that Deji went back time and time again to make more and more of these videos with his brother, despite knowing how they always ended up. So to me, there's some shaky ground here.
Obviously, this is partly my fault because I never addressed this publicly. I did tell him privately to stop, but obviously that didn't work. So it's partly my fault for not taking initiative.
Whoa, hold on. It's your fault because you didn't address this publicly. Right. The evidence you've shown of your brother hitting you and treating you like shit. I can see, yes, he was treating you like crap. Some of it has been exaggerated on your part, like that slap and that water bottle. They were clearly being played up for the camera. But I can still see that your brother is being a big brother. Big brothers tend to act that sort of way towards younger siblings. It's a common thing, whether it's a younger sister or a younger brother. Older siblings are often very rough and kind of assert dominance over younger siblings. I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's even wrong, I'm just saying it is a common thing that happens. But I do sympathise with you, and I can understand that it's not a great feeling, especially if you feel as though you're being bullied. However, the fact that you have just said that this is partly your fault because you didn't speak about it publicly, that is mind-boggling. That is insanity, Deji. If anything, this is partly your fault because you have now spoken about it publicly. This is your big mistake. From everything I've seen about this drama, your biggest mistake seems to be the fact that you have made this public. This is not something that had to be made public. This is something you should have kept private. You say you've spoken to your brother privately. You say he didn't respect that. Well then, you make it clear again, you try and have the conversation again, and if he's constantly not going to respond and he's unreceptive to your feedback and you saying he's making you feel like shit, then you cut out that relationship. You stay away, you take yourself out of that situation and you deal with it, whatever you need to do, but you do it privately. The issue here is that you have gone onto the internet to millions and millions of people and made it into a big thing. And throughout your video you talk about how you're not attacking your brother. Well, you are attacking your brother, whether you intended it or not. This is an attack on your brother's character and on him. And I'm saying this as someone who doesn't even like your brother. I do not like KSI. He annoys me. Watching his videos, just his whole demeanour, his attitude, everything about him just kind of annoys me. I don't like the guy. But I'm forced here to say that you are doing a terrible thing by making this public. It is something that does not need to be public. It is a private affair, a private matter between two brothers in a family. This is something that should stay offline, and you've crossed a line by talking about this publicly. What do you expect your brother to do from here? In your next video, you start talking about how you're so betrayed and hurt, about how your brother's responding to you. What do you expect? You're trashing him publicly. You're making this public when it's something that can be dealt with in private. And if you can't resolve it privately, you move on and deal with the fact that it wasn't resolved. Making this video accomplishes nothing. Absolutely nothing. Other than driving some attention your way and making your brother look bad. It does not solve your problem in the slightest, and you know that. You know that this video wasn't helping anything.
Me and my brother, we make up, and obviously we start to do videos with each other again.
So he says in this video, and I'm sure he said it a few times throughout it, that his brother and him would often have some falling outs, but then they'd make up and they'd be back to doing videos again. And I can understand this. But I also have a criticism here. I can understand the fact that, okay, Deji wants a good relationship with his brother, he's willing to make up and yada yada. But at the same time, Deji, you also have to realise if someone is repeating the same behaviour over and over again, no matter how many times you make up, then it kind of becomes a bit of your own fault for going back to that same situation, putting yourself back in those circumstances. If he can't respect you and after you've made up a couple of times and he still treats you that same way, then stop making up with him. Stop going back into those same situations. And I'm not saying this to try and be a dick, I'm very sympathetic if you are being treated badly. If everything you say is true and you are being treated terribly and he's being a bully, then I sympathise 100%. But that doesn't mean that there aren't actions and steps you can take to make this better for yourself.
My brother texted me saying, "Hey Deji, I've got a great idea involving FIFA." And obviously, I was ecstatic. I was like, I get to see my brother again. It involves, if the other person scores, you have to get hit with a belt.
I'm just gonna whip your ass. And let me whip your ass. Ow! Ow! Hands on the seat. Ow! Ow!
Let me let in! I saw it as all fun and games, but when I look at it now, even today, challenges with my brother, pain is a recurring theme.
Deji, you agreed to this. You can talk all you want about, oh, every time we do a challenge, pain has to be a thing. Okay, but you agreed to it. You didn't have to agree to this. And again, just the point I just made, I understand. You want to spend time with your brother. You like being in his company. You want to have a good relationship. But if pain's a recurring theme and you don't like that, then make that known and stop partaking in challenges where pain is a thing. Again, this seems like a huge over-exaggeration to me. One little punch and you're over on the ground. I think you just need to toughen up a little bit, Deji.
I like this girl. We talked a lot, and yeah, I really did like this girl. Anyway, late 2015, I was doing videos with this girl and everything. Long story short, JJ, knowing that I talked to her, done videos with her and everything, it just came as a surprise when I found out that my brother had slept with her.
Well, that's not cool. That wasn't cool of your brother at all. If everything was the way you said it was, and he knew you liked her, he knew you were speaking to her, and then he just had sex with her, then I suppose, yeah, that was a shitty move on his part.
Another girl who I used to do videos with, who I liked a lot, my brother ended up following her on Instagram, teasing me, just being like, oh, she can have the better brother.
To me, a lot of this sounds like KSI is a very insecure individual. To me, it sounds like he's insecure about himself, and in order to make himself feel better, he has to keep putting you down, especially in front of other women. So it's this girl you like, and you know, and he knows you like her, so he says, oh, it's okay, she can have the better brother. So he's trying to put you down to make himself seem better. To me, that is a very traditional, a very classic example of someone with a low self-esteem trying to make themselves feel better by picking on others. I guess it's a classic sort of bully stereotype.
What really cemented me making a diss track on my brother. So it all started with one of his friends ridiculing my channel.
Name a dead YouTube channel.
Deji.
I didn't appreciate it, considering I'm not friends with the guy, really. I spent time in America with him, but I didn't see him as a friend. But he was close to my brother, so I considered him somewhat family. But I responded like this. You are the sidemen as well as JJ's bitch. You are literally their bitch. You're JJ's cameraman. He pays your salary. I mean, you spend more time with JJ than you do your own wife.
This situation to me with this old diss track, like, it seems to me like this guy was just making an innocent little joke about you, joining in with your brother's sort of banter, and you've taken it way, way too seriously.
And he pretty much just made everything in that group chat public.
You're right, I've been living at the Sidemen house. I took your room, bitch, they kicked you out cause you ain't paying rent, you couldn't find the cash. Let me clear the air and take out the trash.
What really upset me, what really like hurt me, was not the diss track, it was how my brother reacted to his diss track. Instead of my brother keeping neutral or even sticking up for me, instead he was sticking up for his friend, claiming that everything he said in his diss track was true. Just supporting him.
Take a joke, you need to relax, G. Back in LA, I was paying for your taxis. You're the poorest rich man now.
Hey, that's true.
You're rich and you're famous. Now, Deji, tell me, are you brain dead? Cause you still live with your parents. I got loyalty deep, too busy taking edibles. Backstage, hours before.
No! No! You spin a lot of facts, but it's all bad. It's all.
Deji, what you have to remember is that your brother clearly isn't taking this seriously, and you do speak about this a few times in the two of your videos. You talk about how he isn't taking this serious situation that you view it as seriously, and he laughs about it and he jokes about it. So if he's not taking it seriously, then it makes sense that he would watch his friend's video and laugh along to it and support it. He's just watching from the sidelines, laughing at the feud going on. He's not taking it seriously. I can understand you're taking it very seriously. You're the opposite. And you're feeling very hurt. You're taking everything very personally. So I can understand that you feel like shit because your brother is laughing along at your expense. But I think a lot of the issues that you have and you speak about in your videos here is entirely stems from the fact that you're taking things too seriously. You're taking things far too personally when a lot of these things, maybe some of them were meant personally, but a lot of them I don't think were.
Honestly, I felt betrayed. I always thought my brother would have my back in dark times, but as I look at the previous years, it looks like my brother doesn't really support me.
And that's exactly what I was just talking about. You're talking about how, oh, my brother doesn't support me because he was laughing at my expense. You're taking it all very personally, and maybe that is the truth. Maybe you're right. I don't know enough about you and your brother's personal situation. I also haven't seen a response from your brother yet. We'll get to that later on in the video and about how he's going to be coming out with a response, but I've not seen his response yet. So I can't really comment and say, oh, well, you're 100% right or 100% wrong. I have to take this with a grain of salt and just say what I'm feeling when I'm watching your video.
I said a controversial bar of that JJ paid for his wedding. Not an attack on JJ, it was an attack on JJ's friend. But the one thing you ain't been spreading is that JJ paid for your wedding. My bro got angry of me showing screenshots that he paid for his friend's wedding, and I admit it was that was out of line.
I would say that since this other guy was sharing information about you that was private and stuff like, oh, I'm not paying rent and all this other stuff in his diss track, I think this was perfectly acceptable. For me, when you're at war with someone, when you're fighting with someone, whatever, when a boundary gets crossed in the first place, the gloves come off and there are no longer any boundaries. I'm happy to play by the rules for a little bit, but as soon as one rule is even broken, even if it's the slightest small little rule, as soon as that's broken, there are no rules anymore. The gloves come off. I always like to live by the principle that you should always one-up the other guy. If he slaps you, you punch him. If he punches you, you kick him. If he kicks you, you stab him. If he stabs you, you shoot him. And if he shoots you, you go kill his entire family. I think that's the only way to live life, and I think it's a very good philosophy to live by. Always one-up the other person, and I think that is what you did with this video. If he didn't want any part in that, then he shouldn't have started it. So I don't think you have anything to be sorry for here.
But what really cemented me doing a diss track on my brother, what really just betrayed me, was my brother's friend in his second diss track on me. But not what was said, it's the fact that my brother heard the diss track before it went out and he didn't try and stop it.
I would take a bullet for your brother, but if the trigger's aiming at you, I'ma pull it.
As well as in his second diss track on me, he shows a private video that was between me and my brother, us sparring, which was just between myself and my bro, and that was in his diss track.
Cry, sparring at the crib, all we did.
Which further shows that my brother played a part to his second diss track.
I started off feeling like, okay, I've got a little bit of sympathy for you, but by this point all you're doing is whining and complaining and crying about how your brother's bullying you and, oh, I'm so upset about this and I'm so upset about that. And yes, I can understand that for a part, but when you're going on about this for 45 minutes, a whole 45 minutes of just you whining and crying about your brother and about how upset you are about these stupid little things. Oh, my brother laughed at this person saying a mean thing about me. It's nonsense. It's not like your brother wasn't the one saying that thing about you. Just because your brother laughed about it or didn't condemn what was said about you, that doesn't mean that your brother was bullying you. I'm more interested in the examples of, for example, the videos you showed earlier where your brother clearly was being violent towards you. Those are things that I can understand a bit more. But this petty drama, this bullshit, I don't care about it, and I think it makes you look like a whiny crybaby.
A brother's meant to stick by you no matter what. Have your back no matter what. Family sticks by you. But that's what I assumed, considering how I've had his back through his dark times. A lot of his dark times. It just came to a surprise that he didn't have mine. This is when...
Okay, so if a brother's supposed to stick by your side no matter what, then what are you doing right now? Just because he's abandoned you in your eyes and he's not sticking by your side, then why is it that you've suddenly stopped sticking by his side? It sounds like you've abandoned your principles about sticking by your brother's side just because he has never stuck to that principle. And that to me tells me that you don't really have that principle. It means you don't really care about that. You're not very principled in that area.
JJ wanna play games, wanna snake me, get your friends trying to battle me. Now they wanna bait names, how can a man choose friends over family? JJ, we ain't the same, when I start wars it only brings casualty. Little boy, stay in your lane, I'ma drag you to the ground like gravity.
Now this is a bit off topic, but is it just me or do almost all diss tracks just... Are they not just laughable? Like, what about that is insulting to anyone? I don't care what words or lines are in these diss tracks. I think they all look silly, I think they all sound silly, and they're not threatening or insulting at all.
Helped out my brother with his channel a lot. Like a series that my brother currently does called One Question Go. When I saw my brother, I showed him a video where a guy got his fans to just ask him questions on Discord, and I told him that he should do something similar to that, and no credit was given to me. When he did the video, he didn't give me any credit at all. Didn't show anything, didn't say my name or anything, didn't say thanks Deji for helping me come up with this idea.
Deji, what are you doing? I want to be on your side here, I really do, because as I already said, I don't even like your brother. And my opinion of you was always kind of neutral. I want to be on your side here. I had a little bit of sympathy with all this bullying stuff, and it seemed like you were being bullied to an extent. But now you're whining about stuff that doesn't matter at all. You're crying because you said to your brother, here's someone else's idea, you should do a variation of this. And then he didn't credit you for saying that he should do a variation of someone else's idea. What do you want him to credit you for? There is nothing to credit you for there. Deji, you didn't come up with some groundbreaking idea and then share it with your brother and say, you should do that, and then he followed it to the T. That isn't what happened. You suggested to him to do a variation of someone else's idea. There is no reason for you to be thanked. You're just acting like a whiny, entitled brat at this point.
It's like when we used to play games in 2012 and 2013. I would always, all the games we would be playing, it was me who found the games. Mainly because I just wanted to spend time with him. That's how I saw it. It was a way for me to spend time with my bro.
Who cares if you found the games? It doesn't matter if you found the games. You're saying, oh, I just wanted to spend time with my brother. I didn't have any other motivation here or whatever. Then why are you even bringing up the fact that you found these games? It doesn't matter at all.
So this further put me on a downward spiral because this caused me to get hate on all social medias. I started to lose subscribers, fans. I even started getting thoughts of maybe life was better off without me. What was the point? I was getting all sorts of thoughts in my head, and I didn't know how to cope.
This is where I've really lost you now, Deji. The fact that just because you've lost some subscribers and fans because of some drama with your brother, you are now considering suicide? Like, I'm not trying to hate on you or your mental health, because if you really did consider suicide over this, then you need help. You really do. And I hope you can get that help, and obviously you're better now, and I hope you got suitable help at the time and it didn't go too far. But this, to me, if this is true and you considered suicide over this, you were in such a dark place, then you should not be on this platform. You should not have a YouTube channel. You are not suited to having a YouTube platform or a YouTube following. If you cannot handle public backlash, if you cannot handle negativity in the public light, then you should not be a public figure. And I know this probably sounds silly coming from someone who has 4,000 subscribers on his biggest channel. That sounds probably ridiculous to you that I'm telling you that. But I think that's a sensible stance. If you cannot handle public backlash, then you should not be a public figure. And I would say that to anyone in your situation, no matter how big of a channel they are.
Going back to my brother's texts, at the end of the day, it's just a diss track, and it's helping his channel. It's exactly what it was doing. It was helping his channel.
And what we can see from those texts that he just put up on screen is that, as I said earlier, KSI isn't taking this seriously. He's just looking at it as a bit of fun, it's a bit of YouTube drama, they're all going to make some money out of it, they're getting some attention, and that's how it should be. But Deji is taking it all very personally. He can't see it that way. And that's why I again repeat the point I just made. He should not be on this platform in the capacity that he is. If you're taking things so personally and things are affecting you in your life this much, then you should not be involved with them publicly at all. You just shouldn't.
Reacted to my videos on him and was just making fun of the situation.
Still stupid in your fucking head. You idiot. You're honestly an idiot. You're an imbecile. And I can't stand you. I can't stand you.
What do you expect him to do? Do you expect him to respond to every point you make seriously and not just react to it? He made it very clear in his text. He's made it very clear that he is not taking this seriously. You're the one who's taking it seriously. You're the one who's taking it personally. He's not doing that. He has the right approach. He is a guy who understands his platform. He's a guy who can cope with public backlash. He's a guy who can cope with public drama. He understands how it works, and he has a mindset that is suited to this environment, which is something that you clearly lack, Deji. And again, I'm not saying this to defend him. I'm just stating how things are and what I can see.
This made me realize that me taking down the diss track was only for his benefit. This is why I re-uploaded the diss track. I wanted people to see my brother's true colours towards me.
And now you just showed another text, and it's your brother asking for you to keep this all offline, to keep it private. But you've not respected that. You've come back online and started sharing more. I think it's very clear, very apparent, that the biggest issue with this drama and the reason it has blown up is because of you, and because of you making it public when it didn't need to be public. And to me, that's the biggest issue here. Yes, there is clearly an issue of your brother treating you a certain way, and I need to hear your brother's side, and I wait to hear his response to everything you've said, but there is a clear issue here where you've made it all public when it didn't need to be.
I'm not letting my brother bully me anymore. People will take this the wrong way and see this as an attack.
And that's because whether you intend it to be an attack or not, Deji, it is one. So that was the end of Deji's first video titled Bye. Deji then put out another video that was only maybe 12 minutes long, and this one was titled He's Gone Too Far. Now before we start this video, I must say there was a striking resemblance between the thumbnail of this video and the thumbnail of James Charles's last video.
My video was not an attack on my bro. I did not want this. It was no form of attack. It was literally me sticking up for myself because I hate people seeing me as the bad guy, and I hated it.
Again, Deji, you claim you didn't intend for it to be an attack, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't an attack. It was an attack, and it was received as an attack because of the content of the video. Your video was essentially a hit piece against your brother's character, and if you can't see that, then you're an idiot.
But unfortunately, towards my brother, it came across as an attack. Here are some of his tweets. It's actually sickening when I look at it because this is a serious situation and he's treating it like a joke.
And again, here you go about how sickened you are by your brother's reaction to it. But to me, your brother's reaction is exactly what I'd expect. There's nothing wrong with your brother's response and his reaction. How do you expect him to respond? He was apparently on tour or something at the time when you posted the video as well. What do you expect him to respond with? What do you expect him to say? Do you expect him to just come out and say, I'm sorry? Do you expect him to ignore it all? It makes sense that he would deal with this via joking about it. Your brother's a guy who jokes all the time. His videos are full of jokes. So it makes perfect sense that he would respond in this way.
He even sent me a text saying, congratulations, completely missing the whole point of my video. It was not an attack, it was literally to show him awareness as well.
If it was to make him self-aware, if it was to show him, then why didn't you just post the video private and send it to him that way? Why did you make it public to the world for millions and millions of people to watch it? Deji, I've been trying my best to sympathise with you and be on your side, but I just can't. I can't anymore. I sympathise with the fact that maybe you were being bullied and treated badly by your brother. I still sympathise with that. But I can't sympathise with anything else. I think the way you've dealt with this situation is terrible, and I think the way that you're reacting to your brother and the way that you are treating him at this point is disgusting. This is something that your brother made clear did not need to be made public. He wanted to keep it a private affair, but you didn't respect that, and because of that, you are the one who has missed the point.
How he's been treating me, it's my experience. And his reaction towards it was just somewhat belittling and very immature. But what really upset me is not that my brother's gonna be responding, it's that my brother is trying to dig up dirt in his response towards me. He tweeted out, you know, if anybody has any stories with me, to DM him. And it's sad that he's now going that path. He's going the path of destruction. I just don't understand why he's doing this.
What do you expect? Again, what do you expect, Deji? Really? What do you expect? You made a 45-minute video dissing the guy, talking about how he's a terrible brother, talking about how he's a terrible person, and you expect him to just ignore that and move on with life and smile to you the next time he sees you? It doesn't matter if you were just standing up for yourself. You stood up for yourself by striking him. You struck him with a 45-minute video that portrayed you as a victim and him as a bully. And whether that is the truth, and that dynamic is exactly as you presented it to be, whether that's true or not, that is what your video accomplished. Your video got an overwhelming amount of likes compared to dislikes. Most people were on your side. So what do you expect? Your brother's going to be getting abuse now. You were talking about how you were feeling shit because of people being horrible to you and all the drama going on, and you were suicidal. Well, how do you think your brother is now? Because I guarantee you your video has sent lots of people over to unsubscribe from him. Your video has given him lots of negative attention. Your video will have lots of your fans telling him how horrible he is. How do you think he feels? I bet he doesn't feel quite as bad as you did, because you clearly take things more personally, and as I said earlier in this video, I think he is more well equipped to deal with public attention than you are. But the fact remains, you didn't like it when it happened to you. But now, you don't care that it's going to be happening to your brother. How did you expect him to react?
I did not lie at all in the whole video. That's what I just don't understand, why he's going the level of destruction now. He's going on the level to dig up past dirt to ruin my whole credibility.
I'm going to stop this video now because I think we've heard enough. But again, you clearly don't understand, and you just said there, you don't understand why he's doing this. But I think it's very clear. And what's very clear to me is that you have missed the point. You've missed the point of your own first video. You have missed the point. You have missed the fact that your video, whether you intended it to be an attack or not, was an attack. And your brother doesn't like being attacked, especially by his own brother in a 45-minute video. So it makes perfect sense that he would respond, and he would try and do so in a vicious manner. So after this video was posted, KSI put out a tweet saying, "Responding tomorrow." Tomorrow is today, the day I'm posting this video, so maybe the video will even be up around the same time I post this one. But I'm interested in seeing what KSI has to say in response. As I've made very clear throughout this video, I'm not a fan of KSI. I never have been. I've never really watched many of his videos. I don't find the guy to be very pleasant to watch. He just irritates me. And I was trying to be on Deji's side here. At first, I could be a bit sympathetic, and if he was telling the truth, I thought some of these clips of him being hit were a bit over-exaggerated, over the top. Like, that slap wasn't that bad, that bottle wasn't that bad, that punch obviously wasn't that bad, and I thought, either he's playing it up, or he just needs to toughen up a little bit. But even in going along with that, yes, the behaviour is still a bit concerning from KSI. The fact that he feels the need to constantly put down his brother, the fact that he constantly needs to hit his brother and make things about violence. There's definitely some insecurity there on KSI's part, so there certainly is an issue, and there certainly is something to sympathise with there for Deji. However, as I've also said in this video, I struggle to feel sorry for Deji, because he just comes across like a whiny crybaby. There's something about him and his attitude that is just very unlikable. No matter how much I wanted to like him, no matter how much I wanted to be on his side watching these videos, I just couldn't bring myself to. Because I just got this really irritating feeling watching the videos, and he just seems really unlikable. And at the same time, he's putting out this video public, making all this drama public, when it's really not something that had to be public. But hey, this is all just my opinions on what's going on, and I will be making a follow-up to this after KSI posts his video, so probably either Wednesday or Friday I will be posting a new video responding and talking about what KSI had to say about Deji. But until then, let me know what you think about this drama in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribed, and until next time, I'm Rag Reynolds. This was your medium rare drama, and you're welcome, society.
There is a man called Rag Reynolds. He has one head.